if you are a woman who has tried everything, diet, supplements, detoxes, workouts, hormonal protocols, and you are still struggling with periods, PCOS, fertility, weight issues, anxiety, or burnout, then this video might change the way you see healing forever. Because what if I told you that you are not broken? You are just trying to do things in a way that was never designed for women. Hello, my dear ones. I'm so happy you're here with me today. And I'm your holistic gynecologist, Dr. Disha, MD. And today I want to share something very, very close to my heart. The 4 stages of true healing, the feminine evolution, and the rise of divine feminine. So over the last 20 plus years of my clinical practice as a gynecologist, I have had the privilege of working with women all across the world. Not just Indian women, but also Spanish women, American women, African women, Middle Eastern women, European women, Latino women, and many, many more cultures and ethnicities. And here's something deeply important I want you to hear. Women's healing patterns are collective. They are not cultural, they are not racial, they are not even geographical. The expressions may look different, the stories may sound different, but the feminine nervous system, hormonal patterns, and the emotional wounds are the same. And now here's something that has always shocked me. So we are living, I think, in the most technologically advanced era in history. More information, more supplements, more fertility treatments, more apps, more doctors. Plus, women are much more educated and aware than ever in the history. And yet, women's hormonal suffering, period problems, and fertility issues are increasing exponentially. Young girls are hitting puberty early. PCOS is becoming an epidemic. Period pain is called normal. Infertility is rising. IVF is becoming a routine. Egg quality is declining. Early menopause is increasing. Women are losing their periods at 35-40 years of age. Incidence of miscarriages, birth defects, autism, ADD, ADHD in babies is an all-time high. And perimenopausal and menopausal women, OMG, their suffering is rarely even acknowledged. Don't even get me started on that, it's a can of worms. And what I discovered, both through science, my research, and most importantly, my own lived experience, is that women are stuck because they are trying to heal things the masculine way. Do you know that most of the research in health and fitness industry is done on men? Women are not even included in the studies as their hormones are complex and they have a menstrual cycle. Women have a very different endocrine system, very different nervous system, lymphatic system, and energy body than men. That is why what works for men, push, force, override, suppression, does not work for women. And yet, that's exactly what most women are trying to do. Now, I can tell you from my own journey, I personally lived through PCOS, hormonal imbalances, thyroid, Hashimoto's, weight issues, acne, and premature menopause at the age of 35. And despite being told by over 23 doctors that my problems were incurable, I was determined to heal myself. Not just for me, but for my daughters, because I did not want these patterns to pass on to my kids. And I was able to, by divine grace and correct feminine healing, to reverse my own conditions naturally and have a healthy pregnancy in my 40s. And over the years, I have helped hundreds of women do the same. That's when I began to see a clear pattern that women heal in stages, not in straight lines. Healing is cyclical, feminine and intelligent. So I created a framework for my clients to understand at that time how feminine healing really happens and where they are and what their body actually needs. So in psychology, there is this concept called archetypal energies. And we all have them, which are like universal energy in our body. And in spirituality, there is this concept of avatars where these energy patterns are dormant inside us and they can awaken when we are ready. Now, I have tried to combine these concepts and map the hormonal and functional markers on these stages what I have seen in my own healing journey and hundreds of women I have worked with. I call it the 4 stages of true healing. And stage 1 is the girl stage, stage 2 is the warrior princess, stage 3 is the queen, and stage 4 is the goddess. Every stage has its own distinct hormonal markers, nervous system patterns, and emotional themes, and also spiritual lessons. So I created this framework over 7 years ago for my clients to understand this, but now I feel I can share it on public platform as well, because I feel that more and more women are feeling stuck and they are not getting correct answers. Before we go any further, I need to say this very clearly. Disclaimer, okay? So this conversation is not about naming and shaming. This is not about judging anyone. This is not about you are there and I am here. No. This is about taking an accurate assessment of where you are, an honest assessment of where you are right now on your feminine evolution journey. Now, this is a journey of self-realization and not others' realization. It has nothing to do with what others are doing, which stage they are, and all those things are irrelevant. Because what happens when you take an honest assessment, you stop lying to yourself. You stop pretending. You become clear about where you are, and then, and only then, you consciously choose where you want to go. You cannot up-level from dishonesty. You cannot rise if you are spiritually bypassing your current stage. And this is also not about comparison. It's not about she's at stage 1 and I'm at stage 2. No, please. If you're doing that, you just went back to stage 1. So let's be very, very clear. This is about self-honesty, self-assessment, not competition, not comparison. And now, why we are at different stages. So let me share something very vulnerable with you. Before I understood how feminine healing actually happens, I used to be very confused. For a long time, especially as a doctor, healer, a light worker, and someone who genuinely wanted to serve, I used to have this deep urge to pull everyone up to my level of consciousness. Every time I had a breakthrough, every time I had an awakening or aha moment, I just wanted everyone else to be there too with me, especially my near and dear ones. But they were not even ready, not even open to receiving. And then I realized this is ridiculous, because everyone is on their own timeline, their own soul curriculum and evolutionary pace. You cannot raise someone to a level of consciousness they are not ready for, period. You cannot drag them, you cannot pull them, you cannot logic them there. What you can do is to embody a frequency, and if they are ready, they will feel it. They will be drawn to it. They will awaken through resonance. And this was the biggest relief to me, because at some point I learned to say, I release you to have your own experience of life. And OMG, that felt so freaking good, because suddenly I didn't have to fix anyone and I didn't have to save the planet. I could simply work on myself. I could sit in my own frequency, and the women who were a match, they came magnetically. I didn't have to convince them. I didn't have to chase them. They showed up and they said that, Dr. Disha, please help me. This is how resonance works. And let me make this very clear that this staging has nothing to do with your age, nothing. Someone in their 20s could be much more consciously evolved than someone in their 50s, and also there's a lot of overlap between these stages. And also it could be a spectrum. So you could be a warrior in relationships, but in career you are a queen. So it's perfectly normal to be in between stages and also to toggle back and forth between stages. That is a part of evolution. Okay, so disclaimer over, and let's talk about the stages. Stage 1 is what I call the girl stage. This is the victim consciousness or the wounded feminine, and this is where most of the humanity currently is, and we all have been there. So let me say this with a lot of love. She's the forever damsel in distress. Life is happening to her is the dominant theme for her. She has given away her personal power to other people, circumstances, genetics, past trauma, family history, and she may be addicted to suffering, drama, complaining, and blaming. Her heart center is tightly constricted, and honestly, this is one of the saddest places to be. She carries not only her own trauma, but also generational trauma, her mother's trauma, her grandmother's trauma, the collective wounds of feminine. This lives in her DNA, her cells, her muscles, her nervous system. Her hormonal and functional markers may look like low or high cortisol, inflammatory dominance, insulin resistance begins here, low progesterone, estrogen dysregulation, etc. She often presents with period problems, acne, gut issues, chronic fatigue, emotional eating kind of patterns. The truth is she can heal beyond this, but it takes conscious choice, discipline, surrender, unlearning, and undoing the walls around the heart. And most women at this stage are not even open to changing, unfortunately. Most women at this stage will not even resonate with any of my content, and that's okay. Their walls are strong, the content hits and bounces back. It cannot even penetrate. And I learnt it the hard way, that even when I tried giving my offerings for free for women in this stage of consciousness, they could not even receive it. And I learnt my lessons the hard way, that if a door is closed, it's closed for a good reason. So let's move to stage 2. Stage 2 is the warrior princess stage. OMG, this is my favorite stage of clients to work with, and I always talk to her. If you have seen any of my posts or videos, I say, ambitious women, high achieving women, listen up. Because I just love to work with this kind of women, and she gets the best results from my work. Because I have been in this stage for over 4 decades of my life, and I say this again with a lot of love. This stage is characterized by control and doing mode. She is no longer a victim, and she takes charge of her life. She is much more self-aware and may even have over-cultivated masculine energy. She may or may not have high androgens, high testosterone, high DHEA kind of picture. And now she fights back, she becomes disciplined, high-functioning, strong, capable. She's a go-getter. She reads the books. She does the protocols. She follows the diets to the T. She hits the gym, pushes through. Lots of doing, hustling, fixing. She has a never-ending to-do list. She may be doing a lot of intermittent fasting or intense workouts. And initially she gets some results, but later on the results plateau. Or she may even have, from a heavy flow, she may go on to a missing period or a less flow or low AMH, early menopause kind of picture. This is what exactly happened to me in my mid-30s when I was diagnosed with premature menopause and thyroid disease, which I later discovered was autoimmune Hashimoto's. And it's been a journey how I could overcome all that, and I could have a healthy pregnancy in my 40s. I could clear up my skin, which used to be filled with acne, and I got my healthy regular periods back. So this warrior princess gets results initially, but her body stays tense. This stage builds strength, but staying here too long can lead to burnout. Her nervous system believes, and the dominant theme here is, I can survive if I stay in control. Her hormones look better but fragile. Her nervous system and hormones are in fight and flight dominance. PCOS symptoms may be masked initially, but adrenal fatigue and burnout sets in. Thyroid labs may normalize initially, yet she still feels unwell. And staying here long can lead to burnout, Hashimoto's, autoimmune kind of picture. Fertility problems persist, and she may still experience tiredness, fatigue, sleep issues, mood changes, hair fall. Typically, she has cortisol dysregulation and low oxytocin, and this was where I was stuck for over 4 decades of my life, and this is where many high-achieving women get stuck, because she still doesn't understand how universe works, how karma works, and she gets stuck in strong karmic ties. And this is also a state of utter confusion because she feels that she is doing everything right, but still she is stuck. She typically thinks that she is very healthy because she has taken charge of her health and life, and there's a lot of disbelief when this kind of client comes to me and when I interpret their root cause test. The first thing that comes up is a lot of disbelief. How can it be? Dr. Disha, you don't know me. I already eat very healthy. I eat very clean. I go to gym every day. How can I have such a problem? By the way, I have mentioned it a lot of times why only diet and exercise cannot heal feminine hormones, especially after 30-35 when perimenopause hits. And I can continue talking about this stage. I can write books on this stage because I have been there for the longest time in my life. But let me not get emotional. And let's talk about the next stage, the queen. Yeah, one quick thing. At this stage, this lady is not yet very keen to invest in her growth. She's a very DIY kind of mindset. Oh, I can read the books, I can do it. I can watch some YouTube videos and put it all together and I can do it, okay? So, been there, done that. But yeah, this is that level of consciousness. She may open up to a little bit of surface level therapy and little mental work, but she is still not open to, investing in her growth. I really get emotional talking about this stage, but let's jump to the next level, which is stage 3, the queen. Stage 3 is the queen. A queen is someone who lives in the flow. She lives in the zone, if you know what I mean. She trusts her intuition because her heart center is so strong now that she is connected to the divine and she co-creates with the divine. She is a master manifester and her masculine and feminine energies are balanced now. Here something shifts. Healing stops being a battle. Her body begins to trust. The nervous system learns safety. Her hormones respond with balance. The dominant theme at this stage is I am safe to rest, receive and lead. Hormonal profile was she is oxytocin dominant. Cortisol finds rhythm. Insulin sensitivity improves, cycles regulate, sleep deepens, fertility awakens. She no longer proves her worth, she embodies it. One of the biggest traits of Queen is that she invests in herself joyfully and continues to learn and grow. By the way, I forgot to mention that Warrior Princess is more of a DIY. She is not comfortable asking for help and may have some resistance investing in her own growth. But Queen is very comfortable investing in herself because she has understood that without a guide, mentor, teacher or guru, she cannot even crack the code. She may work with a lot of embodied teachers, mentors or spiritual gurus, but her main guru is her own heart. While Warrior Princess was open to doing some therapy, which is a surface level mental work, the Queen is way beyond that. She gets interested in deep subconscious work, neuroplasticity and quantum physics kind of things. Stage 4 is the goddess stage. This stage is unity consciousness, the surrendered stage. Healing is no longer something she does, healing is what she becomes. She has already mastered and embodied the deep subconscious soul level work, whatever Queen was learning, and she's totally surrendered now. Her nervous system holds both intensity and peace. Her body self-regulates. Her presence heals. I'm safe to be fully myself and life moves through me is her dominant theme. She no longer walks the path, she becomes the path. She is no longer forcing outcomes. She is in deep surrender. She serves but never from depletion. Her nervous system is in parasympathetic dominance. There is deep safety in her body and heart-brain coherence. Her hormonal profile is high in oxytocin and there is harmony between serotonin, melatonin, and there is minimal cortisol reactivity. Her body is no longer needing any constant interventions. And the common physical experiences is effortless cycle, deep restorative sleep, natural radiance, high intuition, and very little doing required for health. Her emotional and energetic traits are that she is very peaceful, present, compassionate, without rescuing, magnetic feminine energy, creativity and flow. She may naturally move into teaching, mentorship and transmission through embodiment. She is deeply connected to her soul, purpose and contributing in her own ways to healing the feminine consciousness on the planet. Her consciousness is rooted in trust. Her identity is rooted in being, not doing. Now, if a girl level of consciousness hears all this, she will think it is not English, maybe it is, German or whatever. Let me say this again. Not everyone is ready. This path is not for everyone. But those who have divine grace will definitely get initiated on this path of ascension sooner or later. Whenever they are ready, and that's okay. You cannot activate someone who is not receptive. It wastes energy for both of you. I had to learn it the hard way. I used to stay awake at 3 a.m. in the night worrying about my clients, trying to save them, rescue them. But the truth is, awakening comes from within. You cannot skip stages. That's called spiritual bypassing. You must walk each stage, learn its lessons, integrate, heal, and most importantly, enjoy the journey. At last, I want to share that if you are a healer, coach, or a mother, please hear this. You don't change others by force, you change them by embodiment. And if you are here, you are already awakening. So many mothers have asked me, how do I help my child? And my answer is always, you don't have to do anything to the child. Because your child may ignore your advice, but they will always mirror your habits. Your children will never fail to imitate you. So work on yourself, ladies, and understand how feminine healing works. And let's make this world a better place for the generations to come. So ladies, keep learning, keep growing. Until I see you next time, take very good care of yourself. This is a reminder that these energies are already there in you. You just need to awaken them. And only knowledge can remove darkness. So wherever you are in your journey, it's my prayer that may the Divine Mother awaken inside you and guide you. Om Shri Matre Namaha. And if this resonates, download my free guide on the stages of true healing and rise of divine feminine. Link is in the description below. And don't forget to follow, subscribe if this resonates, and share it with 5 women in your life who really need to hear this.